This is Saunders Field, where the Battle of the Wilderness started. Shortly after noon on May 5th, the battle line of the 140th New York burst from the woods to your right rear, the 1st Regiment to advance against the Confederates here in Saunders Field. Undaunted by devastating Confederate fire, the 529 New Yorkers sprinted across the field and assailed the Confederates along the wood line before you. The wilderness of Virginia. Nowadays, the trees are very tall and mature. But as a result of decades of deforestation to power the furnaces that were used to smelt iron, these woods were second growth woods. That means they were only 10 years old or so. Scrubby, very small trees, broken territory, very difficult to fight in with Civil War tactics. I'm approaching the area where General Gordon, on the evening of May 6th, attacked the flank of the Federal line. These are the Federal trenches. They're perhaps hard to see in a video like this unless you have a feature like a log, a tree falling down on them, and then you see where the trench line was. I thought this was interesting. In the wilderness, I'm at a spot where 3 roads meet. If you know anything about ancient Greek history and the story of Oedipus Rex, a significant thing happened where 3 roads meet. So, what did the wilderness look like in May of 1864? Well, I talked to a Park Service ranger earlier, and she told me that this is an area that they had simply quit mowing about 10 or 15 years ago. You can see there's a lawn here. And in comparison with the very mature trees surrounding this, what we have here is undergrowth, maybe 7 feet tall for this sapling, deadfall, that kind of thing. This is more like what the wilderness would have looked like. Trees not very tall. Here's a rather tall one, maybe 20 feet or so, but it would have looked more like this. When you read in the books that it was second growth, this is what that means. This is second growth woods in Virginia. Not primeval forest, not mature shrubbery, but something like this. Imagine fighting in that. An impenetrable mess. I'm at a place that I have always found especially interesting on the wilderness battlefield. This is the intersection of Brock Road and the Orange Plank Road. This is big 2nd Corps Army of Potomac country. You can see federal trenches here from Hancock's Corps. That's the 2nd Corps. So what's the interest about this place? Well, I don't really know. Except it's significant for the fact that after the Battle of the Wilderness, when it appeared that the Federal Army might withdraw north and lick its wounds and then take up the contest some other time, Ulysses S. Grant directed his army south onto Richmond, and the men cheered. They cheered not because Grant had won, because he refused to lose. I guess you could say the end of the Civil War started at this point, in the evening of May 7th, 1864. It's a busy intersection now. I guess this is what you would call rush hour around these parts. The Battle of the Wilderness climaxed here in the twilight of May 6, 1864. After a day of seesaw fighting in the woods behind you, the Confederates mounted a final effort to take the Plank Road, Brock Road intersection, 100 yards to your left. Thousands of Confederate troops tore through these woods, wrapped in the smoke of burning leaves and underbrush. Thousands of Union soldiers awaited them behind earthworks, the remains of which still stand about 40 yards ahead of you. As the Confederates reached this point, piles of brush put here by Union soldiers slowed them. Union musket fire whipped through their ranks. Fire, creeping eastward toward the Union works, prevented their movement forward. Only in one place, the works opposite you, did the Confederates break through the Union line. But a Union counterattack quickly sealed the breach. The final Confederate attack ended in bloody repulse. The conclusion to the bloody Battle of the Wilderness.